William Dunlop, the younger, 1692–1720, was a British professor of church history at the University of Edinburgh. Life. He was born at Glasgow in 1692, the youngest son of William Dunlop, the elder, and Sarah Carstairs. His brother, Alexander Dunlop, was also a scholar. The early death of his father threw on his mother the chief charge of his education. After his philosophical course at Edinburgh, he studied both law and divinity under the superintendence of Principal Carstairs, who was married to his mother's sister. He was licensed in 1714 by the Presbytery of Edinburgh, and soon after he was appointed by George I Professor of Divinity and Church History in the university there. For the few years of his life thereafter, he continued to discharge the duties of his chair and likewise to preach as occasion presented itself in the Edinburgh churches. In the latter capacity he was singularly successful. He had great pulpit gifts, much fluency, and a lively fancy. His emotions penetrated his discourses and brought out his appeals with a rare power of conviction and persuasion. Quick in perception, of very laborious habits, and a tenacious memory, his attainments and learning were regarded as extraordinary, and had his life been prolonged he would doubtless have risen to the highest distinction in the church. He died in 1720, at the early age of 28. He is buried in the grave of his uncle, William Carstairs, in Greyfriars Kirkyard. The grave lies on an outer boundary wall, southwest of the church, backing onto the grounds of George Heriot School. Publications. His publications were a collection of confessions of faith, catechisms, directories, books of discipline, and of public authority in the Church of Scotland, 2 vols. 1719–22. A preface to an edition of the Westminster Confession, and c. lately published at Edinburgh, 1720. Sermons preached on several subjects and occasions, 2 vols. 8vo, 1722. Notes. References. Attribution. This article incorporates text from a publication now in the public domain. Blakey, William Garden, 1888. Dunlop, William, 1692–1720. In Stephen, Leslie. Dictionary of National Biography. 16. London, Smith, Elder, and Company, pages 210–211. Andnitz, Memoir before the Sermons.